I did that on purpose, Josh. All right. What's up, bruh? Oh, yeah. What's up, everybody? Oh, man. I am fucking tired. Just let y'all know that. Yeah, bro, shit. Got Patrick in here. Sage. Bert. Slaughter's in here. Willie Loomis is in here. Willie Loomis is literally in here. Willie, how can you be in this room at the same time? What? What do you mean? Yeah? What's up, bruh? What do you mean? What? Willie, look at Boris. Yeah, bruh. All right. Well, we're gonna make this quick tonight because I want to go to fucking sleep. Let's see. Might as well. What's up, bro? Willie, can you get it? Can everybody see? Willie. There you go, buddy. Boris. Alright. Dudes got their treats. Alright, so. Sorry. I'm gonna make this a little quick tonight. I'm in the middle of some shit. Some good stuff. Don't worry about it. A little bit of a long day today, but that's okay. So let's take some questions. I don't have anything really planned for this. So let's take some questions. All right. Let's see. What do we have? As a man thinketh. As a man thinketh. That's a very good question. Was Jimmy Kyle ever considered for Goatwhore when Zach left? And the question is no. When Zach Nolan originally left, we had no considerations of anyone. That's why we tried out a bunch of people. And that led us to Zach Simmons. And Zach Simmons came in and totally stole the audition. So after we tried out Zach Simmons, he came in and had his shit together. Basically, played the songs we requested him to learn and played them fantastic on a piece of shit drum set. So after that audition with Zach Simmons, we were just like, this is our guy. So basically that's how it went down. Jimmy Kyle being considered, not really. I don't think he's that kind of a drummer, to be honest with you. Not to say that Jimmy Kyle is a bad drummer. I'm just saying that I don't think his style would have kind of fit with Goatwhore, But anyway, let's take another question. All right. Josh, 5180 has a really good question. Says, Sammy, how did Hurricane Katrina impact your life and the other people in Acid Bath, if I know? It's a great question, Josh. And this is going to require a very long answer. So, Hurricane Katrina, we were in the middle of writing A Haunting Curse during Hurricane Katrina. We were basically at the halfway point I believe Ben was on tour at the time, Ben Falgu. So we were at home writing the music, and Hurricane Katrina hit, and Zach Simmons was still going back between Arizona and Louisiana. So he was in Arizona at the time, and Hurricane Katrina hit, and we all know what happened. So we had to evacuate the city and all that stuff. So I evacuated to Chicago, Illinois, and stayed out there for a while, you know. And then Ben got off a tour. He went wherever he had to go because he couldn't get home either. So he finally got home. And then we couldn't get into our rehearsal room. Like, our rehearsal room was on lockdown for a long time. And we were like, well, we were sitting around for like a month, and we were like, well, what are we going to do? You know, we want to finish writing the record. So we got into the rehearsal room and took all our equipment out of the room, and we went to Arizona and finished writing the rest of the album in a Phoenix, Tempe, Mesa area. So that's basically how Hurricane Katrina affected my life. As far as the other members of Acid Bath, I can't really speak for them because I don't really know what exactly happened during that time. I think Mike was possibly in Ohio somewhere, and I think Jimmy and Dax were out. I think Dax was living in Lafayette at that point in time, and Jimmy was living in Morgan City, so they didn't get it as bad as the New Orleans area got it. So they were okay. Yeah, that's basically what happened. That's my Hurricane Katrina story. I evacuated to Chicago, and we regrouped in Arizona and finished writing the record in Arizona while they were sorting our shit out down here so we could get back into our practice room. Our practice room wasn't damaged or anything. It was just, there was this big lockdown thing to where, from what I understand, the people that stayed in the city didn't have that good of a time. They, you know, if their houses weren't damaged or anything, it was just complete, like, just anarchy, basically. Like, people were, there's, you know, from what these are just stories that I'm hearing of. There were people roaming the streets with pit bulls and guns and just robbing people and just, you know, just bad shit. But anyway, as far as it impacted my life, that's how it impacted my life, Josh. I finished writing a great record, I think. In my opinion, anyway. All right. Let's take another question here. All right. Weirdosaurus Rex has a great question. It says, do y'all have any art designs complete or in the works for the new record? And yes, they're in the works. They're in a very primal state right now, but we've been kind of shooting ideas back and forth between myself, Ben Falgu, and Jordan Barlow. So we're just gonna have to see what Jordan comes up with, because he definitely interprets things in his own way, which is not a bad thing. You know, you could tell him one thing and he basically takes the rough idea and creates this other thing that you didn't even think of, that's actually better than the idea that you came up with. So we'll have to see. I haven't seen anything because I know Jordan's been really busy tattooing and working on other art projects and stuff, but we should be getting some rough ideas from him pretty soon. I think for our shows that we have coming up in Texas and New Orleans, I know that we have a couple of new shirt designs that are coming that look pretty fantastic. So I think Misanthropic Illustrations is doing one that looks pretty fantastic. And I'm not, the other two, I think we're doing 3 or 4 new designs, and we're waiting on the other artists to come up with their final ideas. Yes, it's in the works, but you know, perfection takes time. All right, blue light tendons, light blue tendons. I'm sorry, I'm dyslexic. Do you think we'll ever get to see Kirk Weinstein on one of your streams? And you never know. It's very possible that we can get Kirk to do this. You know, granted that he has the time. I know he's been really busy with Down, rehearsing for the Psycho Las Vegas thing. And I know he's been really busy preparing the new Crowbar record. So, you know, he's a busy guy. But we'll see. All right. Let's see. Craigley Faye 5389 says, favorite black metal album and why is it not Morbid Tales by Celtic Frost? Because it is To Megatherion by Celtic Frost. Thank you for the question, bud. Appreciate it. All right. A Heart 5 has a great question. It says, dude, tell us about the modded Marshall and what mods did you do to it? Looks killer. Looks fantastic, doesn't it? Actually, I was playing through that motherfucker earlier this afternoon, and I have to say that thing sounds pretty damn sweet. So let's start with the original Marshall head. It's a 1976 Marshall 50 watt JMP. Started his life as that. Then I bought it from Webb's Bywater Music. He had it for consignment in the store, and apparently it belonged to the Radiators, the band The Radiators. And let's just say they had a couple of mods performed to the amp before I got it. So I got it and I was fucking with it, and I just wasn't happy with it. And of course I knew Michael Klein could knock it out of the park, and we've been looking for an excuse to mod an amp. So this was a perfect opportunity for me to give the amp to Michael Klein and have him modded. Basically, the mods that we did, I wanted an effects loop, which he installed, which sounds fantastic. I think it's a Metropolis effects loop. Yeah, Metropolis effects loop. Then we had external bias points with a bias adjust on the back. That way, if you swap tubes, you could change the voltage. Say you want to put some 6L6s in there, you just adjust the voltage accordingly. You want to put EO34s in there, you just adjust the voltage accordingly. So Michael Klein did, I think he put some sort of resistor, so it takes a bunch of different kind of tubes in there. He did some sort of magic that it works with almost every tube you could think of. 6L6, EL34, I have EL34s in there right now, KT88s, the whole 9 yards. What else did we do? We added a resonance control on the back, kind of like on a 5150, how it's like an added bass kind of control. We added that in there. Then there is a push-pull knob on the bass, on the front end, on the low-end knob, on the bass knob, to where it kind of gives it a different bass but adds more gain. It's an interesting mod. So we did that, and then on the high and low inputs, basically the low input is like the high input on a normal JMP, but the high input is like more gain. So we basically deleted the low input, replaced the high input with that one, and then added a higher input gain on the high input. And that's basically about it. I think he might have changed the caps on it, and changed a few other things to voice it a little bit better to where it sounds like basically what that amp sounds like in a nutshell is it sounds like the guitar sound on Trouble the Skull. It's basically the best sounding JMP you can get. Yes, Michael Klein definitely knocked it out of the park. I was playing through it this afternoon and it sounds fantastic. But that's the mods, pretty sure that was it. Okay. All right, Johnny Mac LSU got a question. Says, is a Fret Shack in Baton Rouge making you any of his custom wound pickups? And yes, he did make me one that is fantastic sounding. I think it's called JT Ripper, which stands for Jack the Ripper. That one sounds pretty good. We're still kind of throwing ideas back and forth. I think that was one of his models, but me and Jeff are kind of throwing ideas back and forth still of how to make a kind of a custom pickup for me. So he basically shot me the JT Ripper, and that's, to find out where we stood with that pickup. That pickup sounds fantastic. That's a really good pickup. But yes, I have the JT Ripper from Jeff at the Fret Shack, or is it called the Coil Shack now, or the Fret Shack? Yeah. Yes, he makes fantastic pickups. It's a great pickup. Deshan asks, what is the gold frame behind me? All right, let's go. It's actually a gift. So let's go it's a gift from a friend of mine his name is Mick Nichols. He's a tattoo artist in Gulfport, Mississippi. And he made this interesting piece of art for me. And he gave it to me, I believe it was for my birthday one year. But he makes a bunch of art like that. But it's basically just this, he just buys weird religious things and poker chips and bullets, dice and skulls, guns, and makes these interesting pieces of art. Yeah, it's a piece of art my friend made for me. That he's a tattoo artist. So, yeah. He's made a couple of things for me. Don't have them hanging up right now. He made a crucifix with a skeleton on it. That's pretty cool. But I need to hang that up somewhere. I'm just lazy. But anyway, yeah. Mick Nichols in Gulfport, tattoo artist, a very old friend of mine. All right, what do we got? Insert whack ass username. Insert whack ass username says, what's my favorite city in Texas to perform and hang out in? Any crazy stories from Corpus Christi? My favorite, there's two different, there's two different answers. There's two different answers to that. Possibly my favorite city to perform in Texas. Man. It would probably be Dallas-Fort Worth area. The last couple of times we played out there was real good. And my favorite one to hang out in is probably Austin. Austin, I have a bunch of friends there, so it's real cool. You know, have a good time always there. And any crazy stories from Corpus Christi? One that pops up off the top of my head is that we were playing in Corpus Christi at this place called Zeros. If anybody from Corpus Christi knows about Zeros, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's basically it's a hole in the wall. You know, there's barely a stage in there. It's you know, it's just one of those places that it's just a very interesting place. Let's put it that way. So we're playing at Zeros in Corpus Christi one time with the Casualties, okay? And I think the Casualties were on stage because they had played last. We had opened up for them, and we're off stage. We're off stage. We're hanging out outside. There's like a little patio area on the side, and they had the merch set up out there and everything. So, you know, it was kind of packed that evening. So I was like, I'm just gonna hang out outside, and we had Dr. Filthy of Exhumed fame working merch for us at the time. So Dr. Filthy was outside selling merch. So I was like, man, I'm just gonna hang outside with you tonight. It's just too many people in there, and there was no backstage. So I was hanging out with Dr. Filthy outside on the patio, and we're just bullshitting and drinking beer, and, you know, another day at the office. Then all of a sudden, the door to the venue flies open, and it's like this fucking huge fucking fight. Like, I mean, like, it was like 5 or 6 people just fucking fighting. And it blew out the door, and it's just fucking chaos. And I'm like, whoa. And then I'm looking, and I notice that it's a bunch of girls. And I was like, this is something you don't really see every day, where it's like a fight of like 5 chicks all fighting each other at the same time. So that was pretty crazy, you know, because, you know, it kind of caught us off guard because we were just sitting out there chilling, bullshitting about nothing, and the door busts open and 5 chicks are just beating the shit out of each other. So that's a pretty crazy story. Off the top of my head, that's the only one I could think about Corpus Christi. Yeah. So we'll be playing Corpus Christi again very soon, so I hope to see you there. Let's see. What else? Let's go to the bottom. You guys are goddamn. Alright. Let's see. As a Man Thinketh has another question that's really good. So what my thoughts on Aussie metal? I love me some Australian metal. Love it. Bestial Warlust. One of my favorite fucking bands from Australia. Destroyer 666 was originally from Australia. Australian and Antichrist. One of my favorite bands, Destroyer 666. Who else? Another great band from Australia. Psychroptic is another great band from Australia. Oh, man, there's so many. Cemetery Urn. Oh, Jesus. And then you could think of, you know, man, there's so many great bands. Hobbs, Angel of Death. Man, Cauldron Black Ram. There's so many great Australian bands out there. So, yes, I'm a big fan of, there's something about just Australian metal that's just fucking intense. It's just, there's something in that's just, you know, it's just pissed. Yes, I love me some Australian metal. Hell yes. It's fantastic. All right. So, yeah. La Rachna. S. La Rachna. I got it right, bruh. Says, Any thoughts on a Bagheera 6262 or any other Bagheera amps, bruh? Be honest with you, I've never played through a Bagheera amp, but I hear good things. So I can't answer that question. I see they do a bunch of clones of a bunch of amps, but I've never played through one. So Larakna, I cannot answer your question. Sorry. I would probably like it. All right. Neil Goldman 69 has a good question. Says, would you and Mike ever do a sludge thing with Kirk if the opportunity ever presented itself? I'm assuming you're referring to Mike Sanchez and Kirk Winstein. And that would definitely be an interesting combination to be honest with you, because who would play guitar, Mike or Kirk, or would we all three be playing guitar? It's a good question, but if the opportunity presented itself, I would definitely give it a shot. I am all into for jamming. I'm into it. And if it's, sometimes you jam with people and it works out. Sometimes you jam with people and it doesn't go as you thought. It's only one way to find out is to do it. But yes, that would be an interesting combination, to say the least. Let's see. Mo Soleil says, hey, bruh, how was the Aubry Moore show? Aubry Moore show was fantastic. Aubry Moore is a death metal band from Louisiana, Lafayette in particular, that all of you should go check out right now if you like death metal. And they played Friday night in Metairie, which is not far from here, from Louisiana. It's not far from New Orleans. But anyway, the show was fantastic. Yes, Aubry Moore killed it as usual. They're only getting better. It's insane. Live, they're just, every time I see them, they just get better and better. It's fantastic. But they were great. I thoroughly enjoyed the show. Let's see what we got. All right. Dead Beauty 13 says, favorite obituary song. Oh, man, why you got to do this to me? Favorite obituary song. Oh, dude. Man, that is a fucking hard one to answer, because there are so many great songs. Oh, man. Probably my favorite obituary song would have to be oh man, Dying. I believe it's the second song. No, it's the second. Man, you can't tell what songs are what, because you boy don't fucking, the songs are all intertwined with each other. Oh man, not Dying. What the name? What's the goddamn? I think it was Body Bag. Let's find out. Pretty sure it's Body Bag, but I am not entirely sure. But I will answer that shortly. I hope everybody's weekend went well. Yes, Body Bag off of Cause of Death. That is probably one of my favorite obituary songs, just sheerly because the riffs in that song are fantastic. It'd have to be either Body Bag of Cause of Death or the title track Cause of Death, because the solos in the song Cause of Death are just worth the price of admission straight off the bat. So it'd have to be one of those two songs. I can't pick one. I'm sorry. All right. Let's see. I'm going to take a couple more questions and I got to get out of here. Peanut the Acid Bat Dog has a question. Finally. Yeah, bruh. Peanut the Acid Bat Dog says, how's the hurricane? Okay, for those of you who don't know, there was supposed to be a tropical depression Friday that was supposed to be this big catastrophic thing. News blew it out to where, you know, be careful, blah, 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 and it's gonna flood and all this shit, and nothing happened. So the hurricane, you know, we got a little bit of wind, we got a little bit of rain, nothing fucking crazy. Willie, where you going? Willie! Nothing crazy. What's up, dude? How's it going? But, yeah. Peanut, we survived. Where you at, bro? Hey, buddy. Yes. Yeah. Look what this who wants to come show off, huh? Yeah, bro. What's up, man? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, buddy. Yeah, bro. So, yes, Peanut, we survived the hurricane. Anyway, it's let's see. What's up, Boris? Yeah, bro. We got somebody else that's ready. Okay. Let's see. Oh, you saw that. Thanks, Boris. Whoa. You alright, buddy? Alright, Slade Havoc has a great question. It said, what record that you've done was the most difficult to work on? Well, I would have to say this last Goatwhore record was I guess that I was so hard on myself as far as writing the actual music and performing the guitar parts was actually the most difficult record that I've ever made. Like, it was just, I'm not saying that in a bad way at all. It was just, for some reason, this record was really, really hard. But, you know, if it was easy, it probably wouldn't be that good, you know. Just gonna say it like that. So, nothing good ever comes that easy. So, yes, I would have to say this last Goatwhore record really kind of put me through the ringer as far as, like, actually writing songs and actually performing the songs, you know, to record them. There's a lot of wild shit on this new record. But, we'll see when it comes out, what everybody thinks. But personally, I just felt like this record was the hardest record that I've ever had to make in my life. It was pretty grueling. But anyway, let's see. That's fine. We got all kind of weird questions, so sorry. Let's see. Sorry. Oh man. All right. So this is the last question for the evening. I gotta get out of here. So the Shan 420 says, how'd I meet Ben and when? Well, let's start off with when. I met Ben a long time ago. I would say maybe around, oh man, like when I actually met him and we got to know each other was maybe like around 92 or 93 or somewhere around there. We had Acid Bath had played a show with Paralysis when Ben was singing for Paralysis. And we just got to talking at the show, and then we liked a lot of the same stuff, so we just kind of, you know, hit it off, you know. So the first that was the first time I actually met Ben to actually talk to him. I actually met Ben at an Exhorder show. I believe it was Exhorder, Crowbar, The Detriments, and I want to say Desolation was playing as well. And this was back when Crowbar was called the Slugs. This was a long time ago. So this was the first time I actually met Ben, but I did not get to have a full conversation with him that night. So at this Exhorder, Slugs, Crowbar / other bands show, they were passing out flyers for a show that was coming up, and it was Napalm Death, Godflesh, and Nocturnus. So they had flyers going around for Napalm Death, Godflesh, and Nocturnus. This was like right when like Harmony Corruption by Napalm Death and Godflesh Street Cleaner came out. So everybody was psyched, you know. It's like Napalm Death's coming to New Orleans. This is fucking insane. This is awesome. So everybody was stoked that the show was happening. You know, while we were at the Exhorder show, they were passing out flyers. So I was a young kid in the front, you know, having a grand old time while Exhorder's playing, and they had stopped the song, and there's this guy with, you know, big bushy hair, big tall skinny guy comes up next to me, and he goes into the front of the stage, and he's just like growling in this death metal growl, like Napalm Death, Godflesh, and just doing this and just like fucking freaking out, just screaming Napalm Death. And I'm like, who the fuck is this fucking crazy son of a bitch? And I was looking, I was like, yeah, man, you going to the Napalm Death show? And he's like, fuck yes, are you fucking crazy? And I was like, I think we introduced each other to each other, and that was the last I saw of Ben Falgu that night. So that's the first time I actually met Ben Falgu, but that was basically our exchange of words of him coming up to me next to me while we're both in the front of the stage while Exhorder was on a break between songs, and he's death growling Napalm Death and Godflesh, and I was like, me and this guy's gonna get along pretty good. And I introduced myself to him, and we talked, and, you know, later, I was talking to him about that not too long ago. I was like, man, do you remember meeting me at an Exhorder show, and you were just growling Napalm Death and Godflesh, and you were just fucking pumped? And he was like, that was you? So, small world. But on that note, I'm going to shut this down, everyone. Thanks, everybody, for joining in. Sorry it was a short one and unannounced one, but, you know, life happens. I hope everyone has a great week. I hope everyone had a great weekend. Just make a couple of announcements in case anyone is interested. We still have the Iron Age Sammy Dewey signature picks available, but there's only a few left. So I would suggest if you don't have them, you go get them. That would be great. I'm going to make a post about that this week. Also, we have only a few bottles of the hardcore grooming product, Sammy Satan beard oil, which, trust me, you need this. There's only a few bottles left. So go grab that as well if you have the spare cash or if you're interested in either of those products. But anyway, hope you guys have a great week. I'll see you guys next Sunday. And yeah, stay evil.